Hello, in this video we're going to go ahead and review some important concepts from Chapter 1, Section 1.5 of your textbook, multiplying whole numbers and then verifying your answers. So there's a few important concepts that we need to review. One of the things that we've been doing, just as we did with addition and subtraction, we want to make sure that we line up our factors or our numbers that are going to be multiplied in columns so that our place values line up. And once again, you can see here where we have our ones or our units, our tens, our hundreds. Everything's lined up the way it needs to be so that we're multiplying correctly. Next, our next step in the process would be to multiply each digit of the multiplier. Starting with units times the multiplicand, which is basically, this is a number that we're starting out with, and this is how many times we're going to multiply that particular number. So as we're doing that, and we do our multiplication, basically what will happen is we'll come up with partial products, and we're going to add those partial products so that we get our actual answer, which in multiplication is referred to as the product. So we're going to go ahead and multiply this out, and then we're going to go ahead and check our answer because to verify, basically we just do some division, and we're going to divide our product by the multiplier, and we should come up with the multiplicand. So let's go ahead and do some multiplication. So as we move further into the chapter, I will tell you that learning your multiplication tables, knowing them, will make doing multiplication when we come to algebra a whole lot easier. But let's go ahead and start here. We're going to go ahead and multiply 8 times 3, which gives us 24. So again, we write our 4 here. We're going to go ahead and carry. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17. Go ahead, carry our 1. We get 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So here is our first partial product. Now notice when we multiply, we started here, so my columns line up. Now we're moving to the tens column, so I need to make sure that when I do my first multiplication, I'm lined up in the tens column. So we get 8 times 4 is 32. So we go ahead, we're going to put our 2 here, and we're going to go ahead and, just for purposes of making this clear, I'm going to erase those, and we're going to add our 3 here. So we end up with 4 times 8 is 32, so we have our 2 here, our 3 here. We get 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3 gives us 23. I'm going to write our 3 here. Carry our 2, we get 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. So then we go ahead, we have our other partial product. Now we're going to go ahead and add these to get our actual answer. So we have a 4. Technically here, there's a 0 here. It's understood, but usually when we multiply, we don't actually write that there. We just make sure things are lined up. 7 plus 2 is 9. We get 7 plus 3 is 10. Now we have to remember to carry. 0 plus 1 is 1, and then we have nothing more to add here. So we have a 1, and again, we need to make sure that we count over, insert our comma. So our product for this problem is 11,094. So we are going to go ahead, and to verify our answer, what we would do is we would go ahead and take that 11,094 and divide that by 43. And if we do so, we would come up with 258. And that way we know our answer is correct. I wanted to point out here too that I used what we sometimes think of as a bar with our fractions. However, actually, and when we come to fractions, I'll be talking more about this. This bar actually means division, and that's what I want you to start thinking of it as, is a division. an indication of division, because we're going to be doing more of that as we go through and work on some later chapters. So that is multiplying whole numbers and verifying your answers.